Good evening and okay. Good evening and welcome to the Pre-Construction Meet and Greet. I'm Patrick Njoku, and with me tonight we have the amazing Stephanie Lowe and Toronto's best, Mr. Max Stewart. So we're really happy that you guys could make it tonight. It's a beautiful day outside. You could be, with friends and family, or you could even just be relaxing. So we promise we'll make it worth your while. So why are we here? We're here to learn more about pre-construction, but we're also here because we want to learn how to invest before the masses. We want to learn how to find opportunities others miss. We want to learn how to use pre-construction as a tool to secure your future at a discount. And also we want to learn how to invest in fast appreciating areas. So you might say, "Hey, Patrick, the market's down. Interest rates are high. We're in a bear market." And that, while that's all true, what do investors typically do during a bear market when the market's down? They typically take position. So they take position so that when a bull market comes, a bull market is when the market picks up, there's excitement again, there's euphoria in the market again. So they take position so that when the bull market comes, they're not FOMOing in, but they're ready and set to go, right? And they can rise to the top. So we have a lot of interesting things for you guys to absorb and learn today. So kick back, relax, and chill. And one more thing, I want to leave with you guys today is that 90% of present day millionaires started from nothing. Usually, we've been lied to. They usually say that it takes money to make money, but if 90% of present day millionaires started from nothing, they didn't inherit it. It wasn't passed down to them. They weren't giving a business, right? Then we know that it takes a lot of faith to make money. Faith spelled RISK. So kick back, relax, chill, and I'm going to pass it over to Stephanie.
Okay, great. Thanks, Patrick. So we're just going to go through a quick intro of each of us. So I'm Stephanie, and I'm a realtor. I work with Manor Realty, and I focus a lot on working with investors and sellers. And the main focus and my main passion is helping people to essentially build their real estate portfolio. So understanding how to build wealth through real estate, how to leverage off the properties that you already own or are kind of accumulating over time, and how you can get that sort of working for you, in your retirement, for your kids, whatever it may be. In the buying and selling that we're doing is always with an investor mindset, and we're going to talk about that a lot today and cover some really important tips. I love pre-construction. I really do. I'm so passionate about it. All of us are. We've seen so many people benefit from the strategies we're going to be discussing today, and we want to help you guys do it. And we're all investors in pre-construction ourselves. So like I said, we've seen it make huge impacts on people's lives. Again, the focus is on generational wealth and financial freedom, and understanding whatever that looks like for you. We want to help you to achieve your goals. And I'm passionate about real estate just because, like I said, how I've seen it really just shift and change people's worlds in helping them to attain the freedom they want. So always talking about abundance overall, like a holistic approach. So that's me. And Patrick.
I'm Patrick. I've been doing real estate for about 12 years. I'm very passionate about real estate. I'm a different type of realtor. I have an engineering background, so I like to use my skills to connect the dots for my clients and offer them a different type of experience. Other than that, I'm passionate about my son. I have a 16-year-old son who's growing, and he's really achieving a lot of things. And I'm also I'd say I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. I love the Lord, and I'm not perfect. I try to keep His commandments, and that's really me at a high level. And I hope that the strategies we present tonight will change your lives, change your destiny, and hopefully also put some money in your pocket. Maybe not tonight, but in a couple of days to come or a few weeks to come. Yeah. So that's where I am.
And Max.
Yeah, so yeah, my name is Max Stewart. A little bit about me. Um, I'm glad to be like a go-to realtor for all of my clients' needs. I'm passionate about and very big on real estate. I work right now with Manor Realty. I used to work at a different brokerage before, but I've come to like pre-construction more and more and more and more. And I primarily used to work in the Kitchener-Waterloo region, and I'm now in, servicing the GTA as well for over 12 years, assisting families and individuals finding their perfect home and making smart investment choices. What sets me apart is my dedication to providing personalized touch. I believe in every client has unique goals, a little bit different. Some people might be buying their first home. Some people are seasoned investors or new investors, like some of yourselves. And I try to, help them no matter what phase they're in. Beyond that, I immerse myself and spend quality time with my family. The most important thing to me, they anchor me and drive me to work as hard as I do. And I also like participating in cultural community events and volunteering my time. I used to be a basketball dad for many, many, many years. I, faith-based in general, and it's very important to me to support my community.
Great, thank you, Max. So we are all of us working together. So if you guys did have any questions regarding any of the projects, even though like Patrick's presenting on Kingston, for example, you can reach out to any of us, okay? And vice versa. But Patrick is with Invest 416, so he's taken his time to come out and share this educational information experience with you. And then Max and I and myself are representing the Stuart Lowe Realty Group, again at Manor Hill Realty. And like I said, we all just work as a team. We're coming together with all of our experience to really just educate and inspire you guys. Just want to take a moment to thank any industry experts that we have on the call with us. So any mortgage brokers, any lawyers. We really do have a very strong team, a support team to help you guys be successful. That's really what it takes. And so if you guys feel like you need any of those resources, we're definitely here to provide those for you. And thanks for those for being here as well. Oh, for those of you who joined a little bit later, two things. One, please feel free to use the chat. All of us at the beginning went ahead and put our contact information in the chat for you to be able to jot it down. Also, feel free to communicate any questions that you have there. Max is moderating and watching the chat, so we'll make sure that we can answer your questions. Definitely, we're going to be sharing a lot of really valuable information with you guys today as well. So please feel free to get your pens and papers and write some of those things down. Also, definitely invite you guys to write, just if you have a moment right now, just kind of write in the chat why you're here today or what you hope to get out of it, out of the call today. And we'll try to make sure, as I said, sort of as we go through, we can gear some of the information that we are sharing on to make sure that we are addressing your needs today. Okay, so thanks so much once again for being here. We're going to go very quickly through some sort of like background information, I suppose. I guess I'll start with this one. So making millionaires through real estate, what is your why? When I talk to folks about real estate investing, I find it is so important to understand your why, because we're going to be discussing a lot of awesome opportunities today. Okay, each one has its own unique benefits, and when you understand why you are getting into real estate, what's your end game, and creating that plan, it's going to help to guide you in determining what is the right next step for you. Okay, so what is your big why? The next thing is, how many streams of income do you have? When we're talking about building wealth through real estate, honestly, there are many ways. There's investing through pre-construction, there's buying and holding, which we'll discuss today, assignment strategies, there's the investing side, being a lender and whatnot. Cash flow. So we will be discussing cash flow today and equity and how those things can also contribute to your streams of income. When we talk about, being a millionaire, being wealthy, having financial freedom, you want to create multiple streams of income, at least 7 streams of income coming in to help to support your goals and your lifestyle. Are you working for money, or is your money working for you? So again, the strategies we're talking about today, like the pre-construction, you put down a deposit and now you have your money working for you. When you start to see the returns, which we'll talk about in like your equity, you put down 40,000 and your equity grew 100,000 12,000, you know what I'm saying? Your money has worked for you. That's not hours that you had to spend in front of a computer or at your job to make those funds.
Or 2% that you get when you put it in the bank.
There you go. All right. Do you have any sources of passive income? So we always say cash flow is king. Cash flow is what's contributing. You're not necessarily at your job working for it, but it's money that's coming. The cash flow is your difference between your income and your expenses. So you're collecting rent, it's covering your mortgage, and then that extra is your cash flow. And you didn't have to work for it, so we're considering it passive income. The equity that builds is really what helps to build towards your wealth, because it's more long term and it's something you can access through refinancing and use it to continue to build over time. Okay, what have you put in place for your future generations? Many times I touch on this point because this is really what helped to open my mind and my desire to expand in real estate and grow. I started thinking about my son, and I didn't want him to have to struggle and work 3 jobs to put himself through school and all these things. I wanted him to have a platform that he could build off of and grow from. So I also wanted to have something to pass down for him. So many times when I'm talking or coaching people, I'm like, okay, let's look at having a property for each of your children. So how can we use a property that is going to help to contribute to them going to school, paying for their college, or having a free place for them to live during, college, or start a business, or a home for you for your retirement, things that can leave a legacy and pass on. And that's really what helps to guide and inspire us. And we're able to do that through the right strategic real estate movements. Okay. Money mindset, understanding about abundance, understanding that success is possible. I think a lot of times we have limiting beliefs or fears towards money, and we have to make a shift to start to see a change in our lives. What is money is the root of all evil?
Yeah, money is the root of all evil.
Some of these things I'm sure you guys have heard, and we really need to create a different understanding. Money.
Our view is money is only good for the good it can do. So if you had more money, you could help more people. And if you don't have enough money, you can't help more people. So anybody who's saying something like that does not have a money mindset. And it's all about growth and developing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Money is like, it's an energy. It's something that can work for you. It's not a good or bad type of thing. Okay. And then what is your idea of financial freedom? Maybe you guys want to share in the chat again, share some of your ideas. What is financial freedom for you? For some, it's being able to travel whenever they want to. For some, they're going to keep their full-time job, and it's just that little bit of extra income that's contributing to help to manage, whatever your needs are. For some, it's retiring from your job. You're making enough passive income and cash flow to be able to do and accomplish whatever it is that your goals are. Okay. So real estate as a wealth building vehicle and financial freedom. So again, we talked about understanding your why, knowing your why before you're investing to guide you. Buy and hold versus assignment. So these are 2 wealth building strategies in real estate. Buying and holding, we kind of say buy real estate and wait. Write that down. Buy real estate and wait. So the longer you are holding onto your property, the more time you have for the market to help you to build and establish your wealth, right? Over time, generally, the values of property is going to increase and up and up and up. So the more properties you're accumulating in your portfolio, the more wealth you're able to build. And again, real estate is transferable. So that's how we're able to pass down that generational wealth. Assignment strategy is super important. Definitely take notes on this one, and we're going to talk more about it today. The assignment strategy is buying a property at today's value. So any of the products we're talking about today, today's price, you're going to buy the contract, right? And then you have a closing date that could be 2-3 years down the road. Again, over time, real estate appreciates through the market. And so you might buy a property today at $350,000. In 2025, when it closes, it might be worth $450,000. And so you're going to sell the property at that future value. The difference between your purchase price, $350,000, and the price at the time when you sold, $450,000, is $100,000. So that difference minus any expenses is going to be your profit. And now you've accumulated that cash to go ahead and take your next steps. Maybe you're going to buy 2 more pre-constructions. Maybe you're going to put it down to buy your dream home, whatever it may be. But that assignment strategy is really very powerful. And Max, you can do the next one. C, buying an up-and-coming neighborhood. We're talking about building wealth as a...
I just think you have to...
Yeah, okay. All right. I didn't want you guys to get sick of hearing me. All right. buying an up and coming neighborhood. So this is a super, super, super important strategy. Okay. And we are going to be sharing some key points on each of the projects today on why, we as investors would invest in these projects. And these are key indications that we're going to see the growth in the property value over time. We're looking for those equity gains. That's how we're distinguishing a great opportunity from a so-so one that's not going to help us so much. Okay. Is there going to be new forms of transportation coming? What industries and businesses are investing and expanding in the area? Check out government trends. What's happening in terms of immigration? The more growth and movement and activity that we're seeing in these areas, new projects coming, is all going to help to increase our value over time. And as we check off each of those little boxes, that's a fabulous indication that this is an up and coming neighborhood, and this is an investment that you definitely want to put your dollars into, because you're going to see those returns. Using the crystal ball effect, as always, we got to be careful. We don't want to speculate. And so when we're sharing some of the year over year appreciation, we look towards the market trends. We look towards what's happened, let's say last year, year before, to help to guide you guys into what we predict might happen in terms of the market, a really strong, booming, up and coming area. We can't say exactly at the time of closing how much it's going to go, how much it's going to increase. But again, once we see these signs and key indicators, yes, that things are moving in the right direction, it really paints a picture for us. And again, all of us are experts. We've been working in this industry for many, many years. And at this point, I think we've become definitely experts at identifying these key factors. Okay. So
opportunities.
So tap into us, ask questions all the time. I have people, reaching out and sharing products that they see and giving feedback, but we want to use these patterns that we've identified to help to effectively predict what might happen in the future. Okay. Investing in real estate, you can rent. So we know recently that we've had a little dip in the market, right? And some of the property values have gone down. You have the interest rate hikes that we've all seen. So these are things that affect our values over time. Now, the beautiful thing about real estate, as we said, over time, property values definitely go up for many reasons. Again, immigration, industry, and all these things. Now, when we buy a piece of real estate that we are able to rent, it's going to help us to mitigate some of these little fluctuations in the market. So if we're going through a period of time when property values are down, no problem. Buy real estate and wait. So we're able to rent it out, ride out that little dip. When the market is up, you can sell, you can refinance, grab some of your equity, and keep building. Okay?
Yeah, so we're always looking for multiple exit strategies. You can't go into an investment where you don't have another option. So if you know that you're comfortable and have, you can rent it, you can keep it, you can, refinance or whatever else, it's good to have those exit strategies. And then because of pre-construction, you have those opportunities, so you're not stuck into one situation.
Awesome. All right. Equity equals long-term wealth. I hope you guys are really understanding how that equity growth works for you. Some great examples is looking at like a Mississauga or a Brampton 5-10 years ago where the property values were up. I always use example. I grew up in Cambridge. So I remember when our 2,000 something square foot 4-bedroom detached home was 189,000. Right now, those very same homes are selling for over $1 million. And that is equity. That is the long-term wealth. That is the generational wealth that we're talking about when we're buying into, again, some of these key areas. And you really have to open your mind. We don't want to follow trends. We don't want to invest into areas after everybody else has invested and the boom has happened. We want to stay ahead of it, buying in the up and coming, right? And the last point, real estate is available and it is transferable. So again, you can use the real estate that you're investing in to help you to get to achieving some of the goals that you have. It's available through refinancing. It's transferable to your children. It's definitely something that you guys want to work on. So why pre-construction, Max?
Because of the assignment strategy. It's a great way to build wealth and build cash. So the assignment strategy is awesome because when we were talking about earlier, Patrick was talking about how the market is right now. We hear about the interest rates and different type of things and buying in different markets. The assignment strategy is great because you are not affected by the interest rates. You never actually have to get a mortgage. All you have to do is qualify for a mortgage. So that's an amazing part about it. You can set it and forget it. And just before it's time to occupy the property or to get inside the property, you can either keep your property, but because you're assigning it, you're assigning your responsibility for the property to somebody else. So again, it's like a flexible situation that you can have there. So if your situation changes, you lose a job, or you need to do something different to travel, or your finances are different, you're very flexible. And you could also keep the equity that you build up in it. A lot of times, if you go for another mortgage to keep the property, the equity that you've built up in that property can be used to qualify again for a mortgage. Cash flow, if you keep the property, there's different options of cash flow. You can rent it like regular rentals. You can do Airbnb. You can do executive rentals, which is a new thing that's happening right now, where you get a lot more bang for your buck, depending on what type of property you are assigning or keeping. Low cost to entry. You don't have to have the same type of deposit as much, depending on the project that we have, to get into investing. You're not renovating it and doing all kind of other things as well. You just set a deposit and you set it and forget it. So you don't have to come up with another deposit to buy it necessarily, because you're just assigning it. Property management. So whether you want to manage it yourself, most of these projects you can get somebody either near there that's already a project, property manager, or the building itself will have property management included in it. And some of the options that we have, depending on the project, has free property management for X amount of years or time.
Okay, Patrick, clear this for you.
Is that Patrick's?
That's Patrick.
Okay, Patrick, hop in there.
So sorry about that. I just wanted to give you guys a quick example about how an assignment might work, because some of you guys might not have been exposed to it, and sometimes you find out that that concept might be a little bit confusing. So let's say I'm a buyer, and I buy a property today at $400,000, closing in say 2026. So now we're now in 2025. Now 2 years later, I go to my realtor Max, and I'm like, "Hey Max, I just lost my job. I got a notification from the builder reminding me that I'm closing next year. Is there any way we can resolve this issue? Because I'm not sure, the economy is not very good. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a job in the next 6 months to 1 year." So Max says, "Okay, hey, no problem. Let's take a look at your contract. Do you have an assignment clause?" We pull my agreement of purchase and we look at it. "Oh yeah, you have an assignment clause. Perfect." So Max says to me, "Hey Patrick, you know what? Let me look at the valuation of this condo in today's market." He comes back to me with some great news. "Hey Patrick, you bought it at $400,000 2 years ago. It's worth about $600,000 today in today's market. So let me try and sell it, or assign it. That's the proper word." So he assigns it. He finds a buyer, Stephanie. Stephanie's all excited about it because she's moving there. She's moving to the area with her family, and so she buys it at $600,000. So what happens here is I've assigned my contract to Stephanie. Stephanie's now responsible to close it. Meanwhile, I've made $200,000 without even getting a mortgage.
That's very powerful.
That's the power of real estate. I mean, Stephanie and Max, you can add more to it.
That's basically the gist of it. You're never actually taking possession of the property in an assignment strategy, and you're just taking your contract, a piece of paper, and then like Patrick said, he has the contract. He only put a smaller deposit on it, and he takes that contract and says, "Now you're responsible. You get the mortgage. You pay for everything, and I'll just take my money and run." And then now Patrick has his money to either reinvest, to live off of, and whatever life change that he had, he's now okay in his life situation.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about a few important rules to follow in the purchase of pre-construction real estate. The first thing you want to do is speak with a qualified mortgage professional. A mortgage professional will look at your income, they'll look at your credit, and they'll look at your debt, just to make sure you have a fine mix, right, to make your mortgage work. Because too many times some people have they have the income, but then they don't have the credit, or they might have the income and credit, but they have a lot of debt, or they might have everything, the income, credit, and debt, but they don't have they have the income, they have the credit, and they have no debt, but they don't have they don't have enough down payment. So you want to talk to a mortgage broker to sort of pre-qualify you in advance, right? To make sure that when you're closing 3 years from now, if you decide to close, you're in a good position already today. Or if not, they can prepare, even if your credit's down, they can probably, you're closing 3 years from now, they can work with you on your credit, right? To build it, say from maybe a 600 to a 680, right? To enable you qualify for a mortgage. Second thing is you want to make sure you have a strategy before you purchase a property. There are two strategies I usually talk about. You either buy and sell to create cash. So like you buy a property and you sell it right before closing, or you assign it right before closing to create cash. So we gave you this example about buying it for 400,000 and assigning it for 200,000, and for 600,000, making 200,000. Now you take this 200,000 and you can travel, you can vacation, but hopefully you will take some of it, right, and go into the next property. Another thing you could do is buy and hold to create wealth. Stephanie was talking about generational wealth, right? So this is when you use the strategy, you're taking a long-term strategy. So you're either going to buy it, reside in it, or you're either going to buy it and rent it out. And over the long term, over 3 years, you're going to gain in equity as well as cash flow. With pre-construction, generally, projects with longer closing dates are preferable. Like in this type of market where the economy is down, you'd probably prefer projects that have, ideally with at least 2 or 3 years, so that you can ride through the waves, right? And hopefully by the time you purchase it today, in 3 years from now, the market's probably risen. You're probably in a good position if you have to sell, and you can make your equity. With seasoned investors, it might be a little bit different. A seasoned investor can go in with a strategy, and a 1-year close is okay. So it really depends on your strategy. We always recommend don't spend too much on upgrades. Just put in the bare minimum. If you need, if the house has a garage and there's no inside entrance from the garage into the house, something like that, and the builder's offering that for $1,000, keep it simple. Maybe get something like that, but don't put all the fancy things in it, because at the end of the day, that eats out of your equity. Stephanie and Max, I'm not sure if you have a few more points to add with respect to that.
Not really, no. I wanted to add back to number 3, just about projects with closing dates that are longer, why they're preferable. So if the market is down right now, and the only time interest rates really affect us as investors, say in a time like this, we're not paying interest rates. But as the interest rates go lower, then property prices go higher. So that's what's affecting our cash flow and or our equity. So we have that time to ride it out and not worry about the interest rates being as high right now, and maybe it's going to appreciate slower than it would if the interest rates were lower.
Absolutely. And you also want to understand the types of properties that are demanding your local real estate market. For example, you might move to St. Catherine, you might invest in St. Catharines or Kitchener, where multifamily residential real estate makes sense, like triplexes, duplexes, fourplexes, but that might not necessarily make sense a place like downtown Toronto, where you probably want to where condos actually make sense. So you want to understand what types of properties are in demand. You also want to understand your rental market, the rental market. You want to understand rental prices and stuff like that, the rental rates and stuff like that, so that it helps you figure out things from a cash flow perspective. A very important thing to do is to educate yourself on government trends. I always tell people, follow the census, follow the transportation network. If you're investing in a city, or you want to invest in Woodstock, go to City Hall there, right? And, find out what's happening in the city, find out all the changes that are coming, the new highways, the new subdivisions, what's going to be happening in the city in the next 10 years. Find that out. It really helps you, and it really helps put things in perspective. And finally, always get an assignment clause if possible. I mean, today, the good thing is 90% of projects have an assignment clause, because this assignment clause always gives you a way out, gives you the opportunity to assign early if you want to, if you have a life change, you lose your job, things aren't working out, or you're moving away from the territory even, it gives you a way out. So that's so always get an assignment clause.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, great. Yeah, I think also just speaking to just to highlight to something about today's market and the concern of the high interest rates. Again, because the projects are closing a few years out, it can't, we can't say for sure again, but a lot of experts are saying we're sort of in this high interest rate environment for the next couple of years. So again, when you're buying pre-construction, you're not paying any mortgage, right? You don't have to have a mortgage at this time, but you do have that property under contract and you do have the equity growing, but you're not having to, pay out in this higher interest environment. So I think that's just another thing to kind of highlight about pre-construction in terms of how it can be a benefit for those who are really concerned about the interest rates in today's market. Still a way for you to get in. And then again, you can utilize any of the strategies we've shared so far, closing and renting it out, accessing the equity, or doing an assignment strategy, just as Patrick just highlighted. So I just thought I'd bring that up again. All right. So Patrick is going to be talking to you guys first about Kingston, and then myself and then Max will have a couple other projects to share with you.
Thank you. So a little bit about myself. As a realtor, I've always had success in secondary markets. So in secondary markets, I mean markets that are outside Toronto. I've always had success in, so initially in the past, say about 2-3 years ago, I would say there was a push west. So you talk about down the QEW in communities like Beamsville, Grimsby, and Niagara, and there's also a push down west down the 401 when you talk about communities like Kitchener, Waterloo, Woodstock, Ingersoll, Tillsonburg, London, and St. Thomas. So years ago, in say about 2015, you could buy a townhouse in Brantford or in Paris for about 196,000, and those same townhouses are about 750, 800,000, right? So I had a lot of success with my clients in these secondary markets. For me, I feel like yes, you can invest in Toronto. It still makes sense to invest in Toronto, but it's maxed out. But for a newer investor or maybe a greener investor, it might make more sense, right, to go into a secondary market where there's a lot of opportunity for your property to grow in value, and you can actually get in at a low price point and reap the benefit a few years from now. So now there's a push going east down the 401. So you're talking about communities like Bath, Loyalist, Napanee, and now Kingston. So we have this great project in Kingston that I want to talk to you about, and yeah, we'll take it from there, and hopefully you guys can gain a lot from this. Next slide, please. Okay, perfect. So this project is located on Gardner's Road in Kingston. It's actually located very centrally in Kingston. If you know where, how Kingston works, right? You have Gardner's running north and south, and then you have Princess running east and west. Next slide, please. So centrally located, it's a great, I mean, for example, you have a Canadian Tire, you have a Best Buy, you have a Denny's, you have a Home Depot, you have the Cineplex Odeon, and you have the Queen's University about 10 minutes southeast of this location. So it's really in a prime location. So if you're an investor, you can't ask for a better spot, you know what I mean? And right outside this property, if you about 400 meters north, there's a bus stop. So if you're an investor, you're investing in this project, and you have students that go to Kingston University, there's an express bus that runs about every 11 to 15 minutes, and it runs all day. And it takes about, depending on the time of day and the traffic, it takes about 17 to 19 minutes to get to the university. So you know that the students will always have a way to school and a way back, because there's knowing Kingston very well, there's no capacity in the dorms anymore. So all these students are actually looking for places to stay. Next slide, please. A good thing about Kingston is it has a 1.2% vacancy rate, and this is the second lowest in Ontario. So with this, people are always looking for places to stay. So Kingston would be a great place to invest for this reason, because of this low vacancy rate. You know that if you're going to put a property on the market, it's going to be taken, right? So from an investor standpoint, you like this, right? Because it keeps your cash flow going. Next slide, please. It has a thriving economy, a diverse economy with a lot of industry, which we'll see in the next slide. You have lots of companies like, next slide, please. Like you have lots of companies like Coke, Tim Hortons, Canada Roy. We have the Queen's University. You have the Ontario Ministry of Health. So you have a lot of companies in this place that attracts people here. So from that perspective, these people are going to need places to stay. So Kingston will be a good location for this. Next slide. So Kingston is a very unique city. Kingston is going to become like the Kitchener-Waterloo area of that region going east before Montreal, right? It has access to more than 14.5 million people when you talk about Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal combined. So this makes it a major industrial hub, a major population hub, a major immigration hub. Next slide, please. So despite the strong growth in, no worries. With regards to the rental market, despite the strong growth in supply, the number of affordable rental options remain limited. The rent for 2 bedrooms that turned over to new tenants increased by 21.6% in 2022. So this is very positive when it comes to rentals. Next slide, please. So it's the 9th fastest growing mid-sized metropolis in Ontario. So this is very encouraging. So we have a lot of immigration, and we have a lot of students coming from all over the world because you have Kingston University over there. So from an investor standpoint, and also you want this because you want to be in a metropolis that's growing and that's not stagnant. In terms of tourism, like Kingston has an exceptionally large domestic tourist sorry, I can't see that.
I'm not sure why I did
market. And no other central metropolis area attracts more Canadian tourists than Kingston relative to the population size. You have about over 100,000 Americans that live within a 30-minute drive. So it also has a diverse student pool. You have a lot of international students from all over the world. As I mentioned earlier, these students will need a place to stay. So in terms of the project summary, we have a late occupancy in 2025. So it's a condo, so it goes into occupancy before closing, which is actually very good. So in 2025, it'll go into occupancy, and maybe about 6 months to 1 year later, it might actually close. So it gives you like 3 years from now. If you buy today at today's price, you have actually 3 years to actually grow your investment. So these you have 1 bedrooms here that start at about $350,000, and think about it, 3 years from now, this same 1 bedroom could be worth about $480,000, could be worth $450,000, $480,000. So it gives you the opportunity to ride the economy and also grow your money. It has the property taxes are approximately 1% the purchase price. This condo also comes with underground parking and lockers. The maintenance fees are about 0.3232 cents per square foot. In Toronto, you're talking about 71 cents, 72 cents these days. So it is pretty low. The maintenance fees for parking would be about $30 a month, and the maintenance fees for lockers would be about $15 a month, which you would add to your total maintenance fees to get your condo fees. So in terms of the amenities, it has a rooftop terrace, it has a fitness center, it has a clubhouse, pickleball court, pet spa, and a party room. It doesn't have a swimming pool, but sometimes as an investor, you don't want a condo that has a lot of amenities, because the more amenities you have, swimming pools, bowling alley, things like that, it raises your condo fees. But just having enough, right, is ideal. So in terms of the incentives the builder is offering, it's a 15% down payment structure on the one bedrooms, and it's a 20% deposit structure on the 1+ dens and the 2 bedrooms. In terms of the development fees, they're pretty low. The 1 bedrooms are about $7,500. In Toronto, you're talking about 11,500, somewhere there for a 1 bedroom. The 1+ dens are about 10,500. In Toronto, you're talking maybe about $15,000 or even more. And the 2 bedrooms, you're even talking more. So these development costs, they impact your closing costs. So investing in one of these secondary markets, you know that you're going to get in at a lower entry point, but you're also going to have a lower closing cost. So you're keeping more money in your pocket. And also you're also talking about you also have room to grow with these projects, because a project like this could be about a 1 bedroom at 500 square feet is about 350,000. If you were to buy that downtown Toronto, you're talking about bachelors. Like if you go downtown, just at young, say even a young umbrella, you bought a bachelor's, you're talking about 800,000 for studio. For studio apartment that's 450 square foot. Now, are you going to tell me that studio apartment is going to grow to $1 million, or it's going to take, it'll grow, but it's going to take a longer time to grow. But if you're buying like a 1 bedroom at $350,000, literally in 3 years, in the next 3 or 4 years, this could easily, depending on the market, could easily be a $580,000 unit. It could be a 600,000, and it still has room to grow, right, with the economy in the years to come. So I always tell people that to live in Ontario in the next 10 or 20 years, you're going to have to pay a premium to live in Ontario. These prices are not going to last forever. So it's a great opportunity to get in now. And while the prices are low, because 10 years from now, you're going to be paying a premium to buy in a city like Kingston. So with the 1 bedrooms, we can get you there's a 2-year property management program. You also get that with the 1+ dens, and certain 1+ dens and certain 2-bedroom units. There's a lease back program where the builder will rent the unit out for you on closing. So that's actually very good for you as an investor, because you can be over here and you have a property manager that's going to rent it out for you. They're going to take care of the day-to-day, and you have no stress with it because you have a property manager. And the good thing about this project is, like, for projects that were built after November 15, 2018, there's no rent control in Ontario. So you could start off at market rate. Say you started off at, say, $2,200 a month. The next year, easily, you could rent it for $2,500 a month. You could tell it within reason, hey, you know what? I want to increase it by about $200 a month. So it gives you the opportunity with buying into a new project to cash flow. In terms of parking is $30,000. So that if the unit was $350,000 or 1 bedroom, you'd be talking about $380,000 for parking. And then there's also an extra $5,000 for lockers. Right now, there's a waiting list for lockers because they're all sold out. So if you're interested in purchasing one, we can put you on a waiting list for the lockers, and hopefully in time, as the builder releases more, we can get you one. So the unit comes with 9-foot ceilings, quartz countertops, 4 stainless steel appliances, a washer and a dryer, engineered flooring, and a balcony. So it already comes upgraded. I mean, if I was an investor, I would not be adding anything to this. This comes ID. I mean, the builder's going to give you the opportunity, obviously, to add upgrades, but this is perfect. I mean, getting like quartz counters, stainless steel appliances, you're getting like nice engineered hardwood flooring. You can't beat this.
Is there, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Yeah, is there anything about soundproofing the apartments? Do they say anything?
Soundproofing the apartments. again, with this build, I believe it's a standard. I mean, I don't think there is I'm not sure. I haven't seen the upgrades. That's something I can find out, because some builders today give you that opportunity to soundproof them at an extra cost. Some builders offer that, but at this stage, we haven't seen the upgrades yet. So that's something that we can definitely ask, take back to the builder and ask if that opportunity will be given when you're looking at the upgrades.
Thank you.
No worries. So in terms of the studios, the pricing, the studios start at $341,000. But if I was an investor, I would not buy a studio. If I can get a one bedroom at $348,000, depending on availability, because the one bedrooms pretty much go from about $348,000 to about $370,000, $375, depending on the floor. But it makes more sense to go for a one bedroom. If you're a new investor, I would go for a one bedroom, because you're getting it at a low price. In about 3 years, these things could easily appreciate by a 100,000 at minimum, right? Another 4 years, you could be talking about $500,000 unit here, and you're getting in at a 15% discount. So basically, deposit. So basically, it's 10% in the first year, and then 5% 2 years later. So you only have to raise 10% this year and 5% 2 years later. The 1+ den start at $407,000. Now, a lot of the one bedrooms, there's still a few 1+ dens available. The good thing about these units is that they have the den is about 11 by 9.5, 11 by 10, so you can rent it out as a 2-bedroom. But most of the lower price ones have been sold out. We still have some around the $430, $440 price range. But these units, from an investor standpoint, you will cash flow, because you will be renting them out as a 2-bedroom, and they have they also have a lot of room to grow. And then you have 2 bedrooms starting from $494,000. A 2-bedroom will really depend on your strategy. If you're going to live there, or as an investor, I would probably float between a 1-bedroom and a 1+ den. And a 2-bedroom would be, if you have a different strategy, if you want to rent it out to students, multiple students, or things like that, or you want to actually live there, I would go with a 2-bedroom. So this is one of my picks. Again, I mentioned the 1+, it's a 1+ den, and if you look at the den there, you can see that it's 11 by about 9 again, and they have sliding doors. So all you really have to do is go to IKEA and pick a package and put in a little closet, and you rent this out as a 2-bedroom. And if I was buying, I'd be renting it out as a 2-bedroom. And the next one, please. And this is one of the numerous 1-bedroom layouts. Again, it's $356,000 for this specific unit, 536 square foot. Has a massive bedroom. It's about 12 by 9. And this is one unit that I really recommend if you're a new investor, right, buying. I really recommend this, right? This would be a good entry point for any new investor at only 15% down. Again, it's right here in Ontario. The Ontario market is very hot. I totally recommend it. This is, again, just some mortgage calculations I did for anyone interested in buying using today's interest rate. So using today's interest rate, buying a 1-bedroom and renting it out at about $2,100 today, you're talking about $5.48 in cash flow. So you're just breaking even. But we're assuming that 3 years from now, the interest rates would be lower, hopefully. I predict that maybe 3 years from now will probably be about 3.8, maybe 4%, 4.2. With that, you're talking about probably maybe a $100. You probably be cash flowing between $100 and $150, in addition to the equity you gain. Then in terms of a 1+, then this was something I put together with a 5.3 interest rate. And in today's market, you'd be cash flowing at about 100 and 105. You'd be in a negative cash flow at about $105. But that's based on the lease back that the property management company is offering you at $2,350. But we know right across the street from this condo, right, there are apartment buildings where 2 bedrooms are renting at $2,900. So if I say this is a one plus, then I'm renting out as a 2 bedroom in today's market at $2,650. I know today if I was to rent it out, I could rent it out at $2,650. The property management company is promising you $2,350. Just in case the economy goes down, right? They'll guarantee you $2,350, but they're probably going to guarantee you get you 26 in a strong economy between $2,650 and $2,900. I know I can get $2,650 today. You're talking about $195 in cash flow, in addition to the equity you'll be gaining. One more project we have coming out. We don't have the price points right now, but they start at about $400,000, 1 and 2 bedrooms in Kitchener-Waterloo in Dune Village. Max, you're from Kitchener. You can tell them more about Dune Village, right? But these are coming out, and it's a 15-month build, closing in 2025.
Yeah, I'll just say something quick because I actually used to live near Dune Village in Old Dune Village or Dune South, and it's a great project and community. So the ones on the right, I'm familiar with that concept and style, and Kitchener is still a hot spot for developing and making some decent gains in equity if you want to do an assignment, because they have Wilfrid Laurier, they have Waterloo University, they have Conestoga College, which is actually pretty close to Dune Village, and you're getting great returns there. There's lots of natural area around there, so you have the best of both worlds. You have students, you have mature people that will get there as well, and it's a really nice community. I can attest to that.
So we should have the pricing in another 2 months, or sorry, another month or so, because these are launching in September. So if you're interested, please just send us a text in the chat and let us know, and we'll keep you on a waiting list. Next slide, please.
Awesome.
And then one last thing is, in real estate, you make 10% of your money because you're a genius and 90% because you catch a great wave. This shows you that you don't really have to be smart. We're all smart people, but you don't really have to be smart to make money in real estate. And that's it. Thanks, Steph.
Great. Thanks, Patrick. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, maybe in the chat again, maybe just write down a few comments about what you loved about that project in Kingston. I think price point, where it's going to be in the future, the kind of community that it is that we would be investing in, rental returns, when we talk about, future projections of interest rates and these kind of things. So definitely let us know what you loved about that. Maybe if it's Kitchener, again, just make sure you make a comment there and we'll know to provide that information as we get it. All right, cool. So guys, I'm going to talk about Calgary. I've got a few projects there. It's been a very exciting area and location, and I know that some folks have, don't really know too much or a little concerned because it is outside of Ontario. I'm going to start by highlighting some of the benefits of it not being in Ontario, just to kind of give you another perspective. I think it's a great thing to complement the portfolio that you have right now. It's also a great place to start because of the affordability. It's a great option to kind of get in the game. Okay, so I'm going to be going through some of these things now. Let's see. All right. So first thing is looking at investing in Calgary. There's no land transfer tax. So when I talk about the affordability and kind of having that lower barrier to entry, you don't have to come up with that extra dollars on closing. So closing in Calgary is usually going to cost you about $2,000 in the lawyer fees. There is no HST. It's only GST that's included in the price. So there's also some savings there. I'm going to go over why Calgary is up and coming. It is definitely, over the last couple of years, me working there, I have definitely seen prices going up. And how we talked about investing in up and coming areas, you want to catch that good wave. You don't want to start buying after everybody has moved there and everybody has invested there. Now you want to too. No, we want to be ahead and be able to prosper and benefit from that growth. So I'll be talking about that migration and whatnot. A great thing right now as it stands, there's no rent control, and the environment is very favorable towards landlords. So again, if someone is not being fair as a tenant, not paying rent, and kind of trying to leverage things that way, they have a great
take
policy.
you a year and a half to get the tenant out.
Yeah.
And what happens is in this type of system is that landlords have to do market rent, because you won't get good tenants that way. But in the event that you get a bad tenant, it's easy to get them out.
Yeah, and I think that's gives a lot of comfort and ease. And the other point around that too is utilizing property management. So I always talk about, know what your strengths are, and definitely, leverage them. If you know that maybe you don't want to be a landlord or don't like dealing with whatever it may be, you can hire a property management company. They will take care of things. They will screen the tenant for you, and they will send you your monthly passive income, your check every month. Okay, so there's some great things, and I'm going to cover some more highlights for you now. So again, no land transfer tax, no HST, no rent control. So again, interest rates go way up, you can increase your rent so that your costs are covered. Okay, and then Alberta favors the landlord and the investor. So very important points. In the first quarter of 2023, Alberta hit record population growth, and we talk about booming and up and coming locations. That is something to keep in mind. The rental market continues to grow. Again, most of us by now probably know some folks who at work, friends, family, who have relocated and migrated over to Calgary. And the more people that move and the more industries and businesses that invest and grow there, the more demand there is for rent. New tech jobs. So Calgary is Silicon Valley of the West. That's a big industry there. The rental rent increase, I think this is 2.5%. And in Calgary, there's no limit. So again, here, there's a certain amount that you can increase every year. In Calgary, you do what you need to do. Alberta's net migration at historic highs is up 3,225%. That is an accurate number. The population is booming. Calgary is booming. Calgary has been voted Canada's best city to move to for affordability, for lifestyle. This is talking about now some of the businesses. So Walmart has invested in a $118 million fulfillment facility. We've got 1,000 new tech jobs in Calgary, and this is just highlighting some of those points in terms of positive future population growth projections. In quarter 3 of 2022, we saw over 30,000 people leave other provinces and relocate to Alberta. Again, on the tax, no building level levies or developmental charges. So again, on your closing costs, there's no additional cost, no HST, no land transfer tax, no foreign buyer tax, and it offers the lowest corporate tax rate in Canada. So that's part of why there is such a big boom with some of the larger companies. They're able to invest there and take advantage of some of the tax incentives. Okay. So they're calling Calgary the city of dreams. So the first project I'm going to highlight for you guys is called Fireside. It's in Cochrane. It's a mountain town. So if you love to be out in nature, maybe this is a great investment for you to use, kind of like a vacation property that you're going to go and take advantage of. Perhaps this would also be a great one for equity growth, and also for you to invest and have like long-term renters. Okay, the other project is going to be great for Airbnbs and short-term rentals, and I'll be highlighting some of those numbers for you. It is a 2-minute walk from community shopping. There's schools, 3 large parks, bike paths, major shopping, and a 5-minute drive south to the main highway. You're going to have access to University of Calgary within 25 minutes. Their largest cancer center is there, as well as the children's hospital, so it's 25-minute drive away. Again, maybe you're renting out to some of the nurses, doctors, and those kind of families that are looking for or taking employment opportunities and looking for somewhere to stay. It's a 30-minute drive to downtown Calgary, so not inner city. It's more, again, outside, taking advantage of that nice lifestyle, going to the mountains on the weekends and that sort of thing. It's a 45-minute drive west to Banff, so that's an idea of the location. This builder is a very reputable builder. We have seen a lot of interest in this project. So units are starting at $372,000 for these townhomes. I'd have to check and see how many are left at this price. We're probably into the 380s now. Deposit structure is 10%. So again, you can see how affordable it is to jump into something like this. This is an example of some of the floor plans that we have here. I'll just shrink this. So this is looking at the main level, you can see, and then your upper level, and this particular one is a 2-bedroom. And again, these Chesters were in the high 300,000 for townhomes. This is another example. They had bungalow versions as well. Okay. And then this is just highlighting, again, some of the benefits of living in Fireside. A short drive to the city limits of Calgary, and a shorter commute means more time for you, more time for your tenants, your family, and time to enjoy everything that this community has to offer. Close drive, again, to the mountains. All right. This second project in Calgary is called Queensney. We're just now into the second building. Sorry, it's Quine. We're just into the second building. So what's great about this project is that it's already under construction. I know some folks have been thinking, oh, Calgary, what about projects getting canceled and this sort of thing? They're already underway. So investing here is a great option. It's also in a really great location, which I'll talk about. And this particular location, if you're thinking about adding like a short-term rental piece of property to your portfolio, this one would be really ideal for that. So it's got an inner city location, so you're much closer to the downtown area, 7 minutes drive. Okay, you don't necessarily, in Calgary, so you don't necessarily want to be downtown, but you want to be just outside the city limits, just outside the downtown core, to have access to some of the best features of the city. It is, again, a new condo development that is in its pre-construction phase. Rohit is the developer, and they have, I think, about 40 years of developing under their belt. So definitely a very reputable builder. As you can see, the finishings are beautiful. I have videos and such if you guys wanted to reach out to see that. It's a mid-rise building, so only 6 stories, and there's 175 condo units. So as we keep going through the release, we're seeing the increase in price, and again, the increase in your property value. So some of the first folks, some of my clients who purchased in this, we were celebrating their units that they got in the early 300s or so. And then as the release kept going, now they're in the early 400s. So this person has made almost 100K of equity. So again, the equity growth is definitely there. And I would, again, encourage you guys to, be open-minded and check out all that Calgary has to offer. So here again, you're downtown. So you are having access to some of the trendy coffee shops and those kind of features. Quine is located in an area Curry Barracks, and so it used to be one of the like military bases, and they kind of revamped it and made this really nice community. So just some of the suite features: 10-foot ceiling height on the 1st and 6th floor, and 9-foot ceilings elsewhere in the building. You're going to be getting quartz countertops with the beautiful waterfall islands, elegant panel ready fridge dishwasher, and just really beautiful. Close to the golf course, river, parks. The Chinook Center is close by, Mount Royal University, and as I mentioned, Curry Barracks, what that used to be, just a short walk away from that. Here's some samples of the finishes. So as you can see, very clean, sleek, modern designs. And again, units starting in your 300. So here's just a quick sample for a floor plan at what you'd be looking at there. This is, what's this here? This is just some short-term rental stats. So there's over 2,000 active short-term rental listings in Calgary, and 963 of those units are the condo apartments, and the rest are your detached duplexes, which are like semis, townhomes, and basement suites. So there is a really great market if short-term rentals in Calgary is a way that you're thinking you might want to go. So just kind of skip through maybe to some of the stuff at the bottom there. So you'll see that there are peaks in occupancy in Calgary. So the Calgary Stampede, which is in the summer, is one of the highest seasons for your income. So some of these units are bringing in like $3,400 per month. And then your slower season going into the winter, like January, might be $1,100 a month. So you have great cash flow potential, small mortgage, so ability to cover the mortgage and carrying costs is very good. Occupancy peaks in August, so in the summer seasons with 88% occupancy rate, and then in your lower season, 50%. So that means maybe in the winters, half of the time you might be booked out, and we kind of gave those numbers. If you're looking at a one bed, you're looking at approximately $100 and up to approximately $144 per night. And then going with a larger unit, the 2 bedrooms, you're going to be looking closer to $197 per night. Okay. And these are based on double occupancy. So for example, if you're getting a one bed, you put your, queen or double bed in the main room, you have a pull-out couch in your living room, double occupancy, and you can kind of take advantage of stuff from there. Okay, so definitely ways to maximize if short-term rentals is something you've been considering and want to get into. Here's just a little, a little example for, oh boy, on the pricing. So let's say you're doing a down payment on one of the units. Because it's 10% down with the builder. So the first one shows 20% down. So 10% down now upon closing. If you're an investor, you got to put down about 20%. So the 10% is done like either at once at the time of signing, or it's 5% at signing and then 5% in 6 months with a mortgage pre-approval letter. And then from there, you're waiting until closing. Closing is set to be towards the end of 2024. And so you would put the balance of your $75,000 down. Okay. So you're mortgaging a fairly small mortgage. So just about $300,000. You look at what your total carrying costs might be. And then your rent on these ones, if you weren't doing a short-term rental, but you're thinking of a traditional lease, these ones are bringing in about $2,400 a month. So at 20% as an investor, you are having your cash flow covered, okay? Your cash flow is coming in. And then again, we have that equity growth over time. So just for both projects, again, to highlight maintenance and deposit info. So at Fireside, those nice townhomes, you saw the example I just did there. Your maintenance fees is going to be dependent on the unit that you select. But one of the townhomes, $297 per month. If you choose to go with one of the bungalows, it's $250 per month. The closing will be January to April in 2024. And then some of them are doing later. So like the Q3 and Q4 of 2024, and you can select which one works best for you, of course. We do have some quick close deals. So for example, you can kind of save on the pricing at $361,000, and then you'll close it earlier. And again, the deposit structure is 10%. So for example, $36,000, $37,000, okay? Or you can do the extended deposit, which we're able to offer as a deal for you guys, 5% now and then 5% in 6 months with your mortgage letter. And again, taxes are included. Quinay is closing first half of 2024. And again, the maintenance is specific to the unit that you select, but it's starting from $211.44. It also has a 10% deposit structure. So once again, very, very affordable to get in. And then you have the option 5% at signing, 5% in 6 months. So we wanted to negotiate something that really worked for you guys, and I had to push a bit to get it, but we got it. There was 3 units left at Quinet that were in the mid 300s, and then from there they're going into the 4s. So definitely want to take advantage of getting the baseline and best pricing in these ones. And we are gonna just switch over to
Stephanie,
discuss.
sorry, before you go on, did that
Yeah.
have any assignment clause with it?
Okay, so these ones, we are able to transfer ownership, yes. But what the broker was saying was for these ones, the suggestion definitely is to close them. Because we've seen some different, it's like a different market in Calgary. The locals, they call them Calgarians, tend to not do so much on assignment there, right? So they're finding it's a little bit more difficult to pull off that assignment clause. Some people do, like some Ontarians are still buying and grabbing up the properties, and we would like market to the local market here. But definitely the strategy for these ones would be to buy and close. You can sell after you close if that's what you'd like to do, but we're just finding that works best. But I did have some folks that wanted, and just how we discussed today, wanting to have that option of having the assignment as like your backup, right? If things don't work out, are you able to transfer? Yes, you are. But we're definitely, like I said, encouraging closings on this one so it doesn't become challenging for you. We want you guys to be successful. All right. So yeah, definitely guys, in the chat, if you have any questions or if there's anything you loved about some of those projects in Calgary, I would love to hear. And we're going to have Max is going to get started on our 75 James.
One thing, Steph.
Yeah.
In Calgary, you have places like Banff.
Yeah.
A lot of those but Calgary's probably only about an hour away from Banff, and then you also have places like Lake Louise too. So, and these places draw in a lot of tourists year in, year out. So that's something I just wanted to remind people of. I mean, it's not only the Silicon Valley of Western Canada, right? But it's also like the tourist central. It's a very touristy place. You have Stampede also there, which brings in a lot of people in the summer. Yeah, it's very vibrant in the summer and also in the winter. Like in Ontario, it really gets dead over here, but over there you can go skiing, you can do so many different things out there. So it's really beautiful. It's a really beautiful city.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ready?
so
Okay.
I'm going to talk about 75 James condominiums. That's in Hamilton. So what I'm going to do is 2 things. Get the elephant out of the room with some of the stuff you may have heard before, the stigma that Hamilton may have had. It is completely not what you would think is different. I live in Hamilton right now where I was surprised by what I saw in the quality of life and everything. And now seeing these projects and what's developing downtown and how downtown's revitalizing, there's even more opportunity. What we've all kind of been talking about is key indicators and trends that you want to follow. That is infrastructure, that is jobs, migration, and the rental market. And Hamilton has a lot of those awesome opportunities as well. Let me just go through quickly. Am I pressing the right one? Yeah, so you gotta move that for me. I can't see. So when you get to Hamilton and downtown there, you can feel the different energy. It's a newness infused by history. Hamilton has a great history from that you can sense when you get down there, just from the old industry, the buildings and stuff like that, with a fresh take on urban living that's changing right now. A vibrant pulse at the core of a lively destination, connecting every step with possibilities. Can you just read some of that for me?
Yeah. Okay. So the next one in real estate in Hamilton has definitely been experiencing a lot of growth. So again, talking about investing in up and coming neighborhoods, definitely can step into a booming housing market and what's happening there. So the city of Hamilton reported the building permit values of approximately, big number, 130 something million dollars. So that's even despite the impact of COVID and the pandemic. So, it's been a booming and thriving economy in there. The value of like the building permits, the new projects that are coming up really just broke all the previous records in the city of Hamilton. So we're just there.
Okay, so what's good about that as well, I'm not sure exactly where Stephanie left off, is Torontonians have to go somewhere. So you're talking about the crystal ball effect and the different indicators that we have seeing in Hamilton. Hamilton meets a lot of them, if not all of them, on a high level. So the values again have built up. The average condo price was approximately 600,000 in 2022, and with an increase of 15% pretty much compared to 2021. This has a second highest annual rent growth from properties from all municipalities in Canada at 26% for July 2021 to 2022. Rent increased about 16% year over year for one bedrooms and about 15% again year over year for two bedrooms from your calculating from August 2022. Again, once primarily known as steel town, Hamilton has undergone a massive change in what it's doing. It's known for the sprawling arts community, its cultural scene, must visit foodie haven. It has great restaurants and bars and pubs that not a lot of people would realize. Cutting edge startups and one of the most diverse economies in Canada, leading with the education tech services. This Hamilton is the place to be right now. The growth in Hamilton has been proven a top destination to live, consistently ranking of one of the top cities to live in Canada. It is also ranked in the top 7 of intelligent communities of tech and stuff like that by the Intelligent Community Forum 2018 to 2020. Hamilton is set to benefit from 1.3 million new Canadian immigrants. So where are they going to go and what they're going to need? They're going to need housing, right? And a lot of the immigrants come with money, and there's incentives and options in Canada where they can take their credit from where they're coming from and assist them with their credit here so that they can get mortgages. It boasts about 25% lower cost of living than Toronto, which is huge when you think about the cost of living, what you're paying for, 400 square foot downtown Toronto, the old condo city, where Hamilton, before, it gets to the Toronto style, you're getting in, at least cost of living 25% lower. With a 6% population growth since 2016, expected population to increase to 780,000 by 2041. Upward trend of downtown dwellers with the area population doubling rate of growth. So what we're looking at again, we're talking about infrastructure. There's $3.4 billion future LRT development. So you're going to be able to not only get around the 14 kilometers of and 17 stops of infrastructure in terms of the LRT in Hamilton. With the GO train and everything and the LRT, you're going to start connecting to from Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, all the way through. So it's a nice place to be. So you're going to have even more people commuting from Toronto back and forth and just living there in the transit system. So that's a huge development in investment in infrastructure. So it's a 2-minute walk from, again, the GO station, a 2-minute walk to future planned King and James, the LRT, 1 hour drive to Toronto. Okay. There's no 1 hour drive anywhere when you talk about Toronto, but if there's no traffic, 1 hour drive there. Under an hour from 5 major highways in North America, connecting us to the US and Windsor area. 20 minutes drive to the John C. Monroe International Airport. You're getting a lot of, again, international flights out of Hamilton to South America and different places. It's also a pit stop as you're coming back into Toronto before you get to Pearson. Yeah, and then it's an 18-minute drive to the port of Hamilton, with the largest port on the Great Lakes where shipping comes in and out. So CBRE is more of a commercial brokerage, and they have ranked Hamilton as the top. I'm not sure what that says there. What number you see there? Okay, as the top 2 in North America for its tech opportunities. Tech growth in Hamilton is rapidly growing, the tech city, and is already home to a bulk of Canada's tech financing business. Startups are happening all the time. It's a great entry point for them because there's cheap leases and more stuff developing. It's a high-tech city with the cost of entry, again, is very competitive with other tech-centric cities in the region. Over the course of the last 5 years, Hamilton's tech scene has grown by over 50%, and was named Canada's fastest growing mid-sized city for tech talent by, again, that CBRE in 2018. A community that embraces cutting edge science and technology. One of the top said mid-sized country in the American cities. So, like I said again, I can attest, to a lot of these things because I have been to these places and they're beautiful. It's, the future planned line that you can see there in orange pretty much goes through the center of downtown, and then the GO line, loops around. So there's lots of connections there. The future planned King and James LRT station is right near, this project here. You have the art gallery, Jackson Square, the farmers market at Jackson Square, the First Ontario Center, Paisley Park, skate park I've been to, Hamilton International Airport. As you can see, the Bayfront Park, we've been down there. There's a skate park there in terms of roller skating. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they have a DJ that plays there. Bring the kids there. We're down by the waterfront. We've been boating in the lake over there in the bay. It's a really cool place to be. We've walked the paths and gone fishing and down there. So it's a really nice city, and you wouldn't believe it until you get there. And the opportunity, just because it's that much cheaper and so close to Toronto, Torontonians have to go somewhere, and they're not necessarily always going that far for transit and work. Some of them are staying in this area, and they're about to come, and with the immigration coming, they're going to have to buy and live somewhere. So whether you're renting or buying it or assigning it, you have lots of opportunities in Hamilton. So the tech growth, available space in Hamilton offers opportunity for businesses, and growth expected to increase the jobs by 350,000. And the biotech industry has invested $580 million in biotech manufacturing facilities. It has state-of-the-art management at 518 million acquisitions from Steelco Inc. So a lot of, again, infrastructure being built, and they're going to all these different places. The Fasco is another big company that people know about. They have $500 million in loans and grants from the city to build even more. So they want these big companies and industries to come to Hamilton. You have the McMaster Innovation Park University, Canada's premier research and innovation park, with 700,000 square feet of custom laboratories that they're either building or they're starting up that they have already. Currently breaking ground on additional 2.1 million square feet of mixed use. They have the Amazon warehouse here, 50,000 square feet of delivery center. So that means they're delivering around this area in this region. So there's lots of growth here and more growth to come. So 50 million in investments from the entertainment hub, 140 million investments for the waterfront development. And the waterfront already looks nice right now, but they're developing even more, and they're developing to clean up the factories and different things down there. So it's no longer as, foggy or polluted as some people might think. $400 million in investments from Bell Canada, and step forward with innovation at work when you're there. So again, a lot of infrastructure being built in the area. So the schools and healthcare, top tier universities and colleges in Hamilton, you already know about them, and nature and recreation. I've been to about 5 waterfalls, 4 or 5 waterfalls, and it's the waterfall capital of at least Canada, much less the world. I'm not sure, with over 100 waterfalls that you can explore. Foodie destination, Forbes has named Hamilton among the top 7 under the radar. It was under the radar to me. You hear about all the places in, say, Toronto that you can go to, all the hot spots. They're even closer, and there's just, well, not as many, but there's so many nice eateries, local pubs and stuff like that, where they have lots of fusion food and creative stuff that I've, been to myself, and I can attest to. Yeah. So suites, they're going to have about 616 studios to 3 bedrooms plus live and work units. It's a mixed residential, commercial on the ground floors and the residential upstairs. Multi-tiered tower, 34, 20, and 15 and 10 floors, depending on respective building. Amenities, over 1,600 square feet of indoor and outdoor amenities, including concierge service, parcel locker, pet wash station, tech lounge with a co-work space, a theater, kids zone, so a gaming lounge. So with all these different things that they have there, they're looking for, multi-generational people living there as well. So that, you can either have your kids, you can be a tech person by yourself, you can be a student, anything that you want, plus, bring your dog, it's there. The commercial space, integrated residential building, you'll have access to, the former Bell building, which has the extra history of there. It's Canada's first Bell switchboard area. So this is a great option and an opportunity we have here with only a 10% deposit structure. You only have to put 10%. But what's different about this deposit structure is instead of having to put 2, 3, or 4 bulk payments, you only have to put 1% every 30 days, which is great. So you have more money in your pocket to, your money to work for you. And if you want to put those smaller increments, or you can put down more at a time if you want to. Which is really great. So we have 0% development levies, $20,000 off all suite purchases, parking for $40,000 reduced from $60,000, lockers reduced from $5,000 to $4,000. Suite features 9-foot ceilings automatically, custom design kitchens, quartz countertops, all upgraded stuff where you don't have to do as much stainless steel upgrades from the stuff that you buy right off the bat. So we have a price list here, but what I gotta say is it's a live price list, so we couldn't put it up for you to see. But typically right now, 1 bedroom starting from $615, reduced from $634, 1 plus den, which we like to advertise because, like you said before, Patrick, it's basically a 2 bedroom. So, reduced from $676 to $657, and you have that same 1% deposit structure every 30 days. So if you have any plans to see or interest in any of these properties, what we want to encourage you guys to do right now is to come with us to the presentation center. Now, Calgary, we're not going to go with you guys, but we could make arrangements to go to some of the places here, with Kitchener, Hamilton, and Kingston, to come to these presentations and see the actual properties and how these things are going to get built, developed, and pick certain features.
Yeah, and this is an active hot list. I know that at least 3 of these 1 plus dens are sold from probably Friday over the last week or so, and they're updating and going. The 1+Dens, it's pretty small. It's like a little wall on a lot of the plans to section off and get that second bedroom, just like Patrick was showing in Kingston. So that flexibility to be able to rent it out as a 2-bed or sell as a 2-bed, whatever, is definitely there for you guys, and then you're getting it at a really awesome price point. We just have to check the hot list to see what's available on any particular date, because they are selling. Obviously, it's a great project and a great opportunity.
And you're still like, compared to Toronto, getting, as you can see, total size, 625 square feet. You're not getting that 400 square feet units. And we're seeing now that they're under 400 square feet. We're seeing, 380, 390, whatever builders can get away with in these bigger and hot markets. That's what they're trying to do. So these units will have way more value.
Okay, so we are gonna hop over here. Please excuse me. All right, so we just had some final points in closing for you guys. And then, like we said, we wanted to leave it open for any questions that you have. Definitely, again, invite you guys to comment in the chat. If there was anything that you really loved about that Hamilton project, price point, location, what's up and coming, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. Okay, so definitely please make sure you post in the chat room. And yeah, we'll just kind of wrap up here. So again, interest rates are up, so prices are down. It is a great opportunity. As you see, all of the builders offering awesome incentives, great prices, and you want to take advantage of that because they are in this higher interest rate environment, trying to make sure that real estate is still moving. And so it's a great opportunity to get your foot in the door and take advantage before things shift. Again, just keep in mind, real estate does appreciate over time. So getting in now, taking advantage of the interest rate, taking advantage of your today's purchase price. When the interest rates dip and values shoot up, then you know that you're going to be able to refinance, take advantage of some of that equity, and then keep it going, right? Use it to reinvest. Again, we talk about buying real estate and waiting. So having that buy and hold strategy, looking at the long-term wealth that you can build and develop over time. It is a unique opportunity to buy that we have right now. So in today's market, with all of these incentives and prices being the lowest that they've been in a while, you definitely want to jump in and take advantage. Being in real estate for many years, we've seen many people, including ourselves, win at real estate, build their portfolios, develop more wealth, and we want you to see it too. And we hope that we shared a lot of great nuggets and pearls of wisdom with you today that you guys can take forward with you to find more success. There is many options to own as well. So maybe sometimes investing as a group might be the best thing for you to do. If even some of these deposit structures or purchase price seems like you can't do it on your own, you can pair up with someone in the community, in your community, family, friends, get a lawyer, draft an agreement, and jump in and do this because it's going to help you.
See who we have opportunities with, because a lot of times we do have people that want to pair up. We try to get the right group size so that it's still beneficial and you guys get the right return on your investment.
That's it. And so here's a real live example, Patrick, for you to share with everybody so they can see. And this is not an unusual example that Patrick is sharing. This is something that we definitely see.
So this is a project my client bought into in Beamsville, which again is one of the secondary markets my clients invest in. We bought it in October 2019 for $394,000. Literally about 2.5 years later, in January 2022, we assigned it at $536,000. So looking at that, there you're already talking about $140,000 gain in about 2 years. Now, if she had waited to close it, literally like 4 months later or 5 months later, she would have been able to sell that for $590,000. So essentially, it went from $394,000 to about $594,000 in literally like 2 years. You're talking about $200,000, and she only ended. This was only with a 10% investment. So the investment was the initial investment was only $39,000, and the gain was $200,000. Obviously, yes, you have things like realtor costs and things like that. So eventually, this investor would have made about $170,000. But this just shows you the power of real estate. With you can do it yourself, or again, you can do it as a joint venture. And I mean, if you did it as a joint venture with somebody else here, at the end of the day, you would take back your initial $39,000 deposit, and each of you guys would walk away with about $80,000, which you can use to go into the $80,000 each, which you can use to go into the next project, and that's powerful.
Okay, any questions about this example that we shared here? Because this is just that great example of how the assignment really works. Okay, all right, so we'll just wrap up here. Again, thank you guys so much for being with us. Hope you saw something that you loved. If you love the concept, not necessarily one of these projects, again, you can reach out to any of us if you have more questions. Again, Kitchener upcoming, we have lots of locations and stuff. Every week I have a WhatsApp broadcast list, and I try to send out a message to let you guys know about stuff like this that's coming up, webinars, but also do project releases and new incentives, off-market properties and such. So you can feel free to contact me.
Stuff that we have VIP access to, so we get extra benefits compared to working with other realtors.
Okay, and Max, wrapping up.
Yeah, we also have a Lacorum incentive as well, where we help people with rewards for recommending their friends and business and stuff like that. So if you start today, just a referral, or you're doing business with us, depending on the purchase price or whatever, you can get up to $250 or more. So if you're interested in that, give us a call and we'll tell you more about how you can to get that.
Okay, and Patrick.
With me, you can reach me on WhatsApp at 416-919-5582. I also have a pre-construction website. If you need information about any project, you can go to preconstructionbestbuys.com. You could also hit me up on Instagram at the GTA Realtor and on Facebook at the Patrick and Njoku team. And one thing I'd like to leave you with is the best time to buy a house is always 5 years ago. Today's high will be tomorrow's low.
It's a great one. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Definitely open it up to see if you guys have any questions. We will hang around. Like you said, if you need access to mortgage brokers, lawyers, you have questions on how to utilize the equity in the properties that you have now, just reach out to us. We want to make ourselves available as resources for you guys to be successful and to build your portfolios. Typical way, if there's a project here that you loved, what we do is just submit a worksheet. So it's usually like 2 pieces of ID, phone number, email address, where you work, contact information, and we're able to work on securing one of these units at the best price. The thing with pre-construction is that, the inventory moves quickly. Obviously, some of the better price units are going to go sooner. So if this is something you feel motivated to get into, you want to take action. Great. Any questions in the chat, Max? Got everything?
Some thanks, and we're thanking you guys back for joining us. We really do care about helping you guys build generational wealth. And, these are things that we do ourselves and invest in as well. So we don't want to just, have a best kept secret for ourselves. We want to give that back as well, because we really do care, all of us. Is there any questions from anybody for us to explain more about the assignment strategy? I know we did, touch on it a couple times, but sometimes we do get questions about that, and we can try to make it a bit clearer if anybody wants more information on that as well.
And if you're interested in any specific project, we could also set up a time to do a one-on-one with you specific to that project, and you can ask any question that you want.
All right. Well, it looks like everybody is okay. I just want to thank you guys again for, giving up a couple hours to join us. And again, we hope that you really benefited from the info that we shared. Again, make sure you jot down our contact information, of course, and we'll be in touch. We hope all of you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.